So the last and third one is REST. So REST is an architectural approach. It can be used with legacy XML or modern JSON information transfer format. So REST is just an architectural approach. It can use XML, it can use JSON or any other file transfer format over the internet. REST is just collection of guidelines like you need to use these HTTP methods corresponding to this particular CRUD operation, and there are some recommendation about URI design. So let's have some examples for REST, and before examples we need to see some REST principles.
हाँ हाँ Pradeep, your voice is not audible. Can you please check at your end? Pradeep has got somehow disconnected. Please be online. We are trying to reconnect with him. Pradeep, can you hear me? Pradeep, am I audible to you? Hello, Pradeep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Okay, your voice got disconnected and you went offline for some time.
Yeah, we will continue this. There was some problem with my ISP, I think.
Okay, please continue with the session.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah, thank you. So sorry everyone, we were talking about REST principle, and the first and very important principle of REST is be stateless. By statelessness, we mean we don't need anything to store on server about any state of the client. And the second principle is use HTTP method for CRUD operations. Like for select, you need to use get. For delete, you need to use delete. For insert, you need to use post. For update, you need to use put. And the third principle of REST is directly like structure of URLs that you are going to expose for different clients for your web services. Use proper MIME tags. So moving forward, REST HTTP methods. On left hand side we have SQL statements, and on right hand side we have REST HTTP methods. So when we are going to do a GET on particular URL, we should fire a select statement on database. These are the guidelines of REST. And in same way, when we are going to fire a post request on a URL, then we should insert. When put, we should update. When delete, we should delete. And there are some other HTTP methods or other HTTP verbs like head that can be used URL of a particular web service. Then after we have a options. Option can be used to get details about a resource, like this particular resource can be used for get, can be used for post, or can be used for put. And after that we have trace. It is used to debug proxy. Apart from these four methods, get, post, put, delete, very few uses these other four methods: head, option, trace, and connect. Moving forward, the second principle of REST is good URI design. So let's say there is a root for our web server and we have a status. When we fire a GET on status, then we should get all status. When we fire a GET on status, then 3 should be treated as ID, and we should get a status with ID 3 from database. When we post something on status, we should add new status, and in the same way for put and delete. Put is used for edit and delete is used for delete. So these are the different HTTP status codes. It can be used in response from server to the client so that it can be more useful for client. So this is sample request status post add new status, and in HTTP body we have a JSON which is status and value is something. When we fire this post on our web server, it should add a new status in database, and this should be the sample response. So please see this HTTP status 201. For 201 we have resource created. So we should send back meaningful HTTP status from server to client. So REST, how it works. It works in the similar way other protocols work. We send a HTTP request, then what server do? Check HTTP verb, whether it's post, whether it's put, whether it's get, and check path, on which path this particular request is being fired, and after that it calls or execute a corresponding function and then sends a response back to client. So these are the thoughts about REST. More open guidelines, can use JSON or XML, easy to develop and maintain, depends on other security approaches like OAuth, confined to HTTP only because it uses HTTP methods. So these are the three things we have talked about: XML, RPC, SOAP, and REST, and we have also seen the differences between their architecture, how they operate, and how they can be implemented. Moving forward to modern apps architecture. So these days we have different client for our application. Let's take example of Evernote. Evernote can be accessed via a mobile, can be accessed via browser plugins. It can be integrated in other applications like Feedly. It can be accessed via desktop or tablets. So creating applications which is cross-platform, which is everywhere your user is. You also need a website, you also need a mobile app, you also need a browser plugin, you also need web services so that it can be integrated to other application over the internet. So this is the architecture of modern apps. We use web services to develop these applications so that they can be across all the devices for all the users, so that there can be a better reach in your users. Because there are many types of user, many types of devices, and every business need to be near a user. And there is one more problem, data syncing, like we have discussed earlier, that someone updates something from mobile and she needs on browser. So to solve these problems, we develop applications using web services these days. And if we are creating such application, it means we are attracting more users toward our business. And we are also placing some space for our application so that it can be integrated with other applications as well. So these are the points we should consider when we are deciding whether we should use XML RPC, whether we should use SOAP, whether we should use REST or any other protocol. Sometimes it happens that our client says, okay, I need web service and it should be using SOAP. So in that case, you can't do anything. You need to implement it in SOAP, third-party system. So let's say example of Facebook. It provides its data using JSON over REST. So if you want to integrate Facebook using SOAP, you can't use it. So these decisions are altered by a third-party system, like Facebook doesn't provide support for SOAP. Legacy. By legacy, I mean you belong to an organization which uses SOAP from the very beginning and it wants to use SOAP. That's all. No big deals. Resources. By resources, we mean there may be people who are expert in REST in your team, but they are not having much exposure to SOAP. So in that case, decisions are being altered. Modern moves. Modern moves, like if you are creating any application from scratch, right? Then after, what happens, you want that application on mobile, on desktop, on browsers, and everywhere. So these are the different things that alter your decision about the choice of web services. So take decision smartly. Various factors are included in it, but as a thought and as a expert advice, what different experts have advised us, use REST so that modern moves can be taken more precisely and concisely. And now let's move to some demo.
Pradeep, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, so your screen is freezed. Can you check?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah,
It's
it's good
working
now.
fine now. You can continue.
So I'm going to demonstrate how actually REST works. So I have implemented this demo using a framework known as Laravel. It's a PHP framework. And this is the routes file for PHP framework Laravel. And here we have implemented 3 endpoints for REST protocol. When anyone is going to fire a GET request on this URI, we will, or PHP executor will execute get status method from status controller. Whenever a post is fired on status, add status will get fired. Whenever delete is requested on status/id, id can be anything, but here we have treated it as id for status. Delete status will get fired. So how it works, I have used a Postman extension. Let me start my XAMPP server. Apache is up, MySQL is up. Now we are ready to send our first GET request to localhost on path status. Note that this is GET request, and by GET we mean that we are going to fire a select as here, right? So I am going to send a GET request on my localhost with path status. So this is the response from server, which includes all the information about various status that are being stored in database. This is the status with ID3, having text this, which is created at this, updated at this timestamp. So this was for selecting all the status from database, which is GET request. So how it completely get done? So when I send a GET request to status, get status function gets called from status control. Status controller is this controller, and get status is this function. So status is a variable which includes all the status models, and it returns all the status to the clients. So this is the implementation of get method. Let's move to our post method. So post method, here we have our URL. This is the post method, and in post, in HTTP body, we have some JSON here, which is going to be saved in database. So status, let's say it is saved in database 4, and I'm going to send it. So here we have a message added successfully. Note that we don't send back status 200. We send a status with 201, which is created. To see whether this status was added or not, we can send a GET request to our server, and here we do have saved in database 4 with ID 5. Let's say we have added one more message or status in our database. To see, we can send a GET request to our server. I am sending a GET request to our server, and here we have with ID number 6. So this is how GET and POST works. And to see it at code level, when a POST request comes along, we should execute add status. So let's say add status. We fire add status. What add status does, it takes all the JSON input from the body, and after that we create a new object of status, and in status we set text value, and then we save it, and after saving we send a response back to client with 20 HTTP code. Now we are moving forward with delete, how delete works. So let's say there are 4 status saved in our database with ID 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I want to delete status with ID 5. And it is now delete request to our server. I am sending it message deleted successfully. To see whether it was deleted or not, we can simply send a GET request. So here we don't have status with ID 5. It is being deleted. To see how it is being implemented, when we send a status request with delete HTTP verb, we execute delete status function. And in delete status, we get ID, which is being passed from here. We find it from the database, and then we delete it and send back a message to the client. This is how DEST works. And I have also included examples for XML RPC and SOAP, which are available at my data profile. You can go over there and get them and can have a look on them, because we are running on time, out of time. So I will continue to take questions now.
Thanks for the insightful presentation, Pradeep. Let's quickly take up the questions now. I request you to read out the questions and their answers so that all our users may listen to your insights. So can you see the questions coming to your questions doc?
Yeah. So we have first question